if you want to save a lot of time not waiting in line during security for TSA during flights, listen to this. This is my review of Global Entry and TSA Precheck, which I think are very much worth it if you fly a lot. I've used it multiple times, and I want to get you some information. I just used it about 20 seconds ago, and it instantly got me through. There was literally 0 people in front of me, and so the total time for this domestic flight I'm taking in the US is probably took me like 30 seconds or less to get through. That saves me a lot of time compared to sometimes when you're in line for 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And for international flights, the worst I've ever had is in Denver, which I probably waited an hour and a half plus in line. Now, what's global entry? What's the difference there? Global entry is for international flights when you're coming back into the US. And if you get global entry, it comes with TSA PreCheck, which helps you with domestic flights. Global entry, I think, is definitely worth it because first off, it comes with TSA PreCheck, so you get the value there. But on top of that, you also get very expedited service when you're entering a country. I've entered twice, at least twice this year in the US, once in LAX and then another time in Dulles Airport. And both of those times using global entry, they were very swift. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 people in front of me, and that was it. So I was in and out within less than 1 minute compared to probably the worst I've had is Houston Airport. I came back from Costa Rica, and that one, there's such a long line through immigration. I think it probably took an hour. And I was actually coming in with a coworker, and you could tell we were both exhausted already from the flight. Her more than me, like she was already done. She was like out of it. Her name was Maida, and she was already ready to get home to her bed, go to sleep. And she saw the line and she just looked even more exhausted. She didn't want to talk to me anymore. And you just had to bear through another hour of that. Whereas if I had global entry, boom. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what if I don't travel that often? What if I'm not like a frequent traveler like you may be? Well, then it really just depends on the cost-benefit analysis. What other options you have? You can buy Clear, which is also comparably expensive, if not more. So that's probably not worth it. Another option is to buy a first-class ticket of some sort. When I had a Virgin upper-class ticket, international, they had their own private security station, which also had 0 people in front of me, 0 people in line, get you through. But then you're spending a lot more than you would spend on a global entry or TSA PreCheck. Global entry also requires a real quick in-person interview. I heard you had to schedule them and make an appointment, but I was able to just make it very quickly by essentially when I was coming back in last year from an international flight, they just said, oh yeah, I see you're applying for global entry, we can just do the interview right now. When I was coming in for a standard international flight back to the US, and I hit immigration, so they asked me maybe like 2 or 3 questions, and then boom, after that I was through. I got my card. It was much faster than I thought. Another hack is you can get this for free. So how do I get this for free? Well, there's various credit cards that offer a global entry or TSA PreCheck or Nexus reimbursement. If you purchase it through the card, it's one of the perks of these cards. There's a lot of cards like this: MX Gold, MX Sapphire, IHG Premier. There's tons of cards like this, and so that offsets the annual fee for these cards. And I always pay my cards on time, so there really is no downside, and that's one way of doing it. Nexus is another thing I'm trying, because now I have more than one card that has that reimbursement, so I want to use it. I never go to Canada, but if you do go to Canada often, it's basically a similar type of service. but only between USA and Canada. So I think it's highly worth it. If you're only doing one flight a year or less, then it really depends on your peace of mind. I think if you really absolutely do not want to be in line that long, even for that one flight, the cost and the financial cost and the little interview appointment could still be worth it.